Everything. Hi, everybody. So, are you ready to start?
I think so.
Okay, happy Valentine's Day again. I think I said it the first time. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, before we start.
Did you bring me chocolate?
Well, not chocolate, but the next best thing, which is Sour Patch Kids.
Awesome.
Happy Valentine's Day, Deanna.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
I know, you gotta have wacky candy.
Yeah.
Wacky candy is an important part of my life, anyway. It keeps me running.
Me too. Me too. I'm caffeine free, but I eat sugar every afternoon.
You're caffeine free?
I am. I have been for 25 years.
Why? That's a long time.
It gave me headaches.
Oh, well, that's a good reason. I get the opposite. If I don't have caffeine, I get the caffeine.
Well,
headache.
I mean, I'm caffeine free except for the dark chocolate that I have every day at 2 o'clock-ish.
Ooh, 2 o'clock. Is this like a company-wide? Like, does everybody go?
It's there.
dark chocolate
It's there. Not everyone eats it as much as I do, but yeah.
Well, that's good for you, though.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps you going, and
Yep.
dark chocolate. This is a good day for dark chocolate. It is Valentine's Day. Okay, I am ready.
All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Mish Hancock, and you are listening to Mishmash, a place where I get to talk to the weird, wacky, and wonderful people of this world, people I adore and want to know more about. Today, my guest is Deanna Kuhlmann-Leavitt. She is the president and lead designer at Kuhlmann-Leavitt Incorporated. Deanna is a creative and experienced design solution strategist. Her multidisciplinary firm is known for its international work in print, new media, and the built environment. Welcome, dear.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm so excited to talk to you. So you are a TEDx Gateway Arch speaker. You're one of our past speakers.
I am an alum. Right.
Yeah, exactly, an alum. I know. We're going to have a speaker reunion this year. I'm going to make this happen. But I was listening to your talk again this morning, and I just have to say, because we did an event at that Central Library, right, in St. Louis, which is incredible. And then I was looking through your website. You have got such a thing, a way of, I don't even know how to describe it except that it makes me happy to look at all of it.
Well, it makes me happy to be sitting here. Thank you. Yeah, the library project is by far one of the best things we've ever got to work on.
Is that like one of your crown jewels, do you feel like?
It was a gift, yes. It was a gift to get to work on a building that's so important to St. Louis.
Right.
The executive director, Waller McGuire, is an incredible guy. Canon Design, the architect who brought us into the project, they're terrific collaborators, so talented. So, yeah, I mean, you know, you do a lot of projects when you've been working as long as I've been working, and it's just it's one of the special ones. So I'm glad that you enjoy it.
Well, and I think one of the things I was so intrigued about was the fact that you took elements that were already part of the design and just created a more modern look from those elements, like I think it was the tiles with the different designs, and you took that design and you incorporated it into other places. And then I loved the whole idea of the first lines from Pieces of Fiction, where you did, what do I even call those?
The letters on the ceiling?
Yeah.
In the center for the reader.
Right. I thought that was just so beautiful. Did you have a say in what books, or did you guys all collaborate, or where did you get the ideas of these are the pieces of fiction, we should use the first line from these?
I believe it was Canon's idea to use first lines where we could in the project.
Okay.
And they had an idea to put a first line in the ovals that are in the center of the reader on the ceiling. And they were going to put them on the perimeter, and we asked if it was open for interpretation. And they're a great collaborator, of course, and they said, oh, yes, absolutely, that's why you're here. And so then we came up with the idea to do different size type on the ceiling. It was important to us that each first line be a different length. Mm-hmm. So to your question, who picked them? We did our first draft of, okay, these are 5 that we like. Some are long, some are short. And we're cool if you want to change any and all, because of course the library was very interested in what those first lines were.
Right.
And I think they changed 2 of the 5, maybe. But we told them, you can change them, except we need short word count, long
Right.
word count, because we wanted the type size to kind of go from small to big to medium to big to small. So when you're standing in the room, you can look up and you'll see that it's not all consistent, and that was intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, every step of the way was this kind of talking it through and working together to come up with something special. Yeah.
So talk about some of the other projects you've done that you just love and adore.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I mean, my mind is in the library right now, but let me switch gears.
So now I'm going to make you switch. But, I mean, just looking at I can't remember the name of the company. There was one company that showed up a lot on your website. It looks like you've done a lot of work with them. And they're beautiful.
Formica Corporation, perhaps?
Yeah, all the colors. It was very Instagrammy.
Oh.
In my word. No, but I was thinking that was kind of cool that you were able to take that sort of Instagram feel to some of that, because that's a thing now.
Well, it's so one thing I was going to say, as you were talking about the library, one thing came to mind, and that is, I think as a graphic designer, my whole perspective is that it's our job not for someone to walk into a space or open up a book and recognize us.
Right.
It's that somehow they feel like it's a different special place, that absolutely whatever design work has gone on in the space is a reflection of the place. And so I always say, if you walk into a place and you notice the graphic design right away, chances are it may not be so successful, unless, of course, the whole point is to do something on graphic design. But usually we're not doing that for clients.
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
Right?
But I like the idea that you're creating a space where people can feel really comfortable. And maybe as they're sitting there like, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we definitely want to be noticed, but we want the work to be noticed in a way that they're noticing it because they're in the library and it rings library.
Right.
And that it's an interesting use of material. Wow, that's cool. I wonder how they did that. I mean, that's the kind of notice that we like to get. Not so much, oh, KLI has a style. Like I think we have a style. It's clean, contemporary, generally. But hopefully what we do, and I think we're fairly successful with this, varies depending on the client.
Oh, I would totally agree. Because, you could just tell that there's a definite eye feel to it, but there's also, like, you can tell it's like, I am looking exactly at this space, this client, and what is going to really resonate for them and make sense for the people that are going to be a part of all of this. I'm so sorry, I never looked at your website before, but it was just like candy. It was like, oh my gosh, look at how cool all this is. It's really impressive. And when I think of a graphic design artist, I don't think of what you do. I think of the person who's going to print up the brochures. You've taken this whole other place.
Well, I graduated Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California in 1989. And at that time, graphic designers did do print. It was mostly print.
Okay. Print
and logos. But as the world progressed and the internet came along, so for the first 10 years of my career, it was definitely print.
Right.
And then the internet came along, and I didn't love the internet back then because it wasn't quite as, you couldn't do as much.
Right.
It's pretty, from a graphic design perspective, it was pretty basic.
Bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Just think of the horrible clip art that showed up everywhere. Remember?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
And the download time. And the other thing about the internet versus holding a printed brochure or walking through a space like the library or other spaces that we've done is there's different materials. It's just a wholly different experience than staring at a screen. Right. So I'm not so excited about staring at a screen. I'm much more interested in flipping the page of a book or walking through an environment. So it was in about 1998 that I was approached by a woman, Deborah Beckett, who's a fantastic graphic designer. She worked for a long time at HOK here in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
She's since went on to work in Chicago at some other spots. But in about 98, she said, "Hey, I'd like to come work for you." And I said, "Well, you don't really do what we do," because she was a designer for the built environment, which means she did exhibitions and signage and wayfinding. And this was something that I, of course, knew about, but never really, wasn't really on my radar from a business perspective. So we had lunch, a bottle of wine, and had a great time. And then she said, well, I said, well, we don't really do what you do. And she said, yeah, but I think you might like to. So I said, let's talk. So we did. And then that was it. So we started. And so it was in 98 that Kuhlmann-Leavitt, we weren't Kuhlmann-Leavitt at the time, we were Oliver Kuhlman, got into the whole built environment idea, which really was a turning point. And for me personally, just doing, 10 years of print isn't that long. People have done it a lot longer.
Right.
But for me, it was nice to sort of transition to a new discipline, especially one that's just so rich with materials and space, and there's just so much, in my mind, so much more going on in the built environment than what you can experience in a printed page.
Very cool.
Anyway, so that was super exciting, and I haven't looked back. And I think that's why people think people often say, what kind of a designer are you? Well, I'm a graphic designer.
Not really,
but they don't really.
Yeah, because
right. It's very hard to explain
it. Yeah, exactly.
And there are multidisciplinary firms. There just aren't that many. So it's definitely an education process. And the funny thing is, so we did a wine store for Sotheby's in New York. And when I was trying to get that business, so at that point I'd been doing built environment for probably 10 years. I had multiple meetings with the client before we got the job. And finally, someone in the meeting said, well, we think it's great. We know you can do a great job, but we just have one concern. Do you have any experience doing print work? And I had to laugh because I was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Like, people know you for what they think you are.
Right,
and if they think you're a built environment person, or they think you're an interior designer, or they think you're, and so I just have to constantly remind myself, don't assume that people understand what it is that we do.
Exactly what you're doing, yeah.
And they can look at our website and see a trade show, for instance, that we would design. And because we're a little different than many firms, we design the casework, we design the floor plan, we design the banners, we sometimes design the lighting, sometimes we use lighting that we buy. But we're doing all of those things, which isn't wholly graphic design, it isn't wholly interior design. It isn't architecture, but it's a combination of these many things. So I find myself probably talking too much like I am now. But
that's okay.
I find myself having to explain to people.
Well, no, but that's why I asked the question, because you have a certain idea in your head of what a graphic design artist is, and you've taken this to this whole other place. So well, thank you. And
it's been very organic, just like, but you might like to. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sure,
Let's
why
go
not?
to lunch.
Let's try
that. So it's been fun. It's been fun. So yeah, coming up on I graduated in '89. So yeah, so I'm 28 years of doing this.
Golly.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we will be right back with Deanna.
Sounds good.
Is
that all right? Is this what you want? Yeah. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Good. No, this is super laid back conversational. Okay. That's the whole idea of it.
Okay, good.
It's not, we're not shock jocks or anything.
Yeah. Okay, well, sometimes I go on and on, so kick me or something.
I won't kick you. That would not be nice.
But
no, it's true, because I was like, wow, so she's a graphic design artist. I didn't think of that. Like, I didn't put that as what you studied. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But and then as I looked a bit more, I was like, wow, this is so. It's so, because Mike Conzen, who is just here now, he's with PGAV.
Oh, okay.
And so what they do is they do it with destinations. Where yours is destinations, but also it's more like this is a building. It's not like people are going to go to the library, right?
Right.
To go to the library, but now
they do more theme stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So are you going to go? Tourists are going to come to this museum, and we need them to have this experience. You guys are kind of in the. Like, you could hold hands and be friends.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I mean, but it is. I mean, my mom is very good at interior decorating. My mom just has that
an eye.
sense. She just knows, Yeah. And I'm always amazed and fascinated with people that can just go into a place and say, well, this should be there and that should be there, and let's do these colors. And you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so much better. I mean, it just, and it has this whole feeling with it, and I'm amazed at it. I don't have that, so I'm amazed when people can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a willingness to try. It's, the more you do it, the more confident you get. I don't know. And just being aware of what's out there, and then you can draw from those things that you've seen and.
But you have to also have, so I tell my mom all the time, like, you have, like, a natural sense of what feng shui should be. Like, you've never studied it, but you just know how to make sure an area has that flow and it feels good. I mean, this is how bad I am. We got a new sofa, and I had no idea what to do with it. Where to put it? I'm like, this looks terrible.
Right.
Well, I don't even know what to do. So I called my mom. I'm like, I got a new sofa. It looks terrible. Well, the very first thing she does is, oh, well, sofas don't go up against the wall.
Right.
Like, this simple thing. And I'm like, oh. And so just her moving it, she kind of, and I went, oh, that looks tons better.
Yeah.
Like, it is amazing to me. Why don't I have this? I've learned things over the years from her, but just those simple things that everybody else just goes, plunk, sticks it up against a wall. So now I know if I go to your house and I'm thinking, it's not where it goes.
Right.
It doesn't go up against the wall.
You won't see one in my house up against the wall.
But it's funny. I mean, of course it looks better, but why isn't that the thought? Our thought is just to stick it up against something.
Right.
It's
a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's true. Or my desk, I used to have I live on a lake. I have great big windows that overlook this beautiful lake. And I had my desk in a corner because it fit there. That in my head, it fits there. And a friend of mine came in and went,
why aren't you looking at the lake?
Why aren't you looking at the lake? And I was like, oh, that's such a good question. She's like, just move your desk over there. And there's the lake to look at. I was so much better.
Right.
What was I thinking?
Right. Oh.
But I love that people can come in and just make that tiny little suggestion that goes like, changes everything.
They're house calls.
I'm telling you, that could be a whole other thing. Just people come in and say, that's not where it goes.
Right.
The sofa doesn't go there.
Right. It's true.
Sam's like, dang it, my sofa's against the wall.
Yes.
No, it's not.
You're going to have to move your sofa, Sam.
I've got a girlfriend with an eye, so I don't
Oh, does she have
you're
an eye?
lucky.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, she's a photographer. She spends all day placing things just so.
Oh, is she? I didn't know she was a photographer. That's awesome. We were in a commercial together.
Oh, nice.
Sam and I and Jeannie.
Right.
Yeah. So we were in a thing for Channel 11. It's about, what is it?
App.
It's their app. Mm-hmm. We were in a promo about their app.
Cool.
So it's so funny. And so the one part, I'm like, there's Sam and Jeannie walking behind me. There they are in the coffee shop.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. All right, are we ready for our next section?
I'm ready.
We're on section 2, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. I'll get it together.
How many of these do you do in a day?
2 every other Tuesday. So I do the live, hi everybody. I do the live thing, and then I'll get the podcast. I promise at some point I really will. I get behind sometimes, but I do get them up.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, here we go.
And we are back with Deanna Kuhlmann-Leavitt, and we're talking about space and all the wonderful things you can do with it. So you said something about your home in the break. I bet your home is awesome. I mean, seriously, do people come in your home and go, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful?
Well, we don't let them come upstairs.
Oh, well, you got to have the places where you get to be all lived in look.
Right. Well, our house is it's very pretty. We bought our house, and it was going to be a 3 to 5 year, and then we were going to buy a bigger one. Mm-hmm. And we are very slow to change and make decisions. I'm super swift in business, but not in personal. And so we ended up deciding when I was 2 months pregnant with my second child that we were just going to stay and add on. So we lived in it.
Which is always fun.
Which is fun when we added on to the back. And then my husband ended up doing most of the building himself because it was during the building boom.
Right.
And so all of this is to say, yes, the house looks great. It was a process that took a really long time. And so I've always wished that I could just come to my own house with fresh eyes and not have experienced the 4 years that it took to get it looking good and just see it, without knowing where all the mistakes are.
All the mistakes are. I know. Well, it's the thing about living in a house, because I did it too. I'm always like, oh, I wish that baseboard would stay put, you know? And I have a problem with a glue gun. My husband,
do you like glue guns?
Well, I just figure I can glue anything, anywhere, and my husband does not like that. So the other day I was like, can't I just, he goes, don't get the glue gun out.
Put
Do
the glue
not
gun away.
Glue that onto the tile. I will take care of it.
Oh.
Like, seriously, you should not let me loose in any house doing anything.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I was not made for that.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I'll come in with a glue gun and watch out, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, just hang it up on the wall. I got the glue gun. No, just get a nail.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Well, the house thing was a process. We of course have friends that live in lovely places, and we've traveled, and you just kind of take all of those different things and try to figure out what it is that you want to do that's personal to you.
Right.
Certainly get input from friends. Shortly before we did the renovation, the guys who lived across the street from us were terrific friends, and they did a great job with their place. So we learned a lot from them.
Oh, good.
About what we wanted and what we didn't want. So yeah, it was fun.
Well, you had another renovation project that you talked about.
Yeah.
You should. That is a very interesting story.
Super interesting, and there's a follow-up. So my office building is what you're referring to.
Uh-huh.
We're in University City, and we bought an old building that was built in 1920. It was then, and it was one size. It was a service station. And then in 1950, it was doubled in size and width and converted into a glazing shop, so glass and mirror place.
Cool.
And it stayed that until 89, and then it was a hodgepodge of things. So when we bought the building, I'd wanted to own my own place for a long time. I was tired of renting. And this one was perfect. It's less than a mile from our house, so it's nice to be so close to home.
Good commute.
It's a super cool old building, and like anyone who falls in love with an old building, we weren't sensible at all about how the decisions we made.
Who cares if this is a good buying decision? We're making it happen.
Right. So our money pit is super cute, and the building, since it was built in 1920, it's a stuck. If you saw it, you and it's on our website if anyone wants to go check it out. I also kept a little. What do you call that? A blog. I kept a blog,
right? Yeah,
showing the process, which was fairly interesting. But it's a stucco building with a super steep roof. So the roof is about twice, maybe 2.5 times the height of what you see of the building.
Did the roofers come out and go, oh?
The roofers were amazing. I have pictures of them with their harnesses and the ropes that they had to use. So one thing that we knew that the building is, in our minds, significant to the community, and we've had lots of people since say, thank you for not tearing it down. So we knew we weren't going to tear it down, but we knew it needed to be totally gutted and retrofitted to suit a graphic design firm.
Exactly.
And we also, as people who are pretty big believers in climate change, and doing the right thing in terms of our footprint and how we impact the world, we did a whole bunch of things with the building, which we think are pretty great. We have 26 solar panels, so our utility bills are always quite low. We installed geothermal HVAC.
Oh, wow!
Which is really terrific. I will say, we knew we wanted it from an environmental impact or perspective, but it's super comfortable. I mean, it cools quickly,
nice.
It heats quickly. We also, my husband recycled he stripped the building of all of its old wire and metal, took it to the scrapyard. I think he said he got like $3,000 for it. So
that was like
it can be a win-win.
Kind of thing.
It was copper and steel, aluminum, copper, steel, aluminum. So we recycled all the metals that were in the space. And we put in, of course, efficient windows
and a rain garden.
And we have a rain garden.
I love the rain garden.
Yeah, so these the two Sallys designed our rain garden, and it's out front. They helped us secure a grant from the Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting who we got the grant from. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll come to you. I always think on the drive
It'll
home, I always
come.
imagine podcast guys going home and, oh, now I remember it.
Yeah, which was great. So we were able to do the building. There were incentives at the time for geothermal. There were incentives at the time for solar, the rain garden grant. So anyway, it's this little oasis. And we also did a zinc roof.
Oh, really? I've never heard of the zinc roof.
So you've seen metal roofs.
Yes.
One of the jokes about what kind of roof we were going to do, our roof is super steep. So one friend said, well, if you did standing seam is what is at the IHOP. So
wouldn't that
so
be
we said
cute?
our building, if you squinted, it could be a little IHOP-y looking. And so we said we can't do a colored standing seam, but we can do a natural metal. So it's a metal roof like an IHOP roof, but instead of a color and instead of the stripes being vertical, it's what's called a fish scale.
Oh,
so
cool! Yeah,
it's a diamond shape on the roof, and it's a 100-year material. It won't need to be replaced allegedly for 100 years. It's also fully the material is recyclable. So it's a good story.
Good for you guys. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's all on your website. People can go and check it out.
If they want to see it. If anyone has questions about those technologies or how we feel about the decisions we've made, I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah, it was a huge learning experience. It also took us a while to do, but the good news is on that front, we bought the building and then it took us about 5 years before we actually proceeded with the construction. The technology's changed a great deal in that 5-year window. There's quite a boom going on in the building world in terms of green building.
Yes.
So that ended up being a gift. So
very cool.
Yeah.
We're going to take another quick break, ma'am.
Sounds good.
And we will be right back in just a moment.
How long are these segments? Am I talking too long?
They're like 9 minutes.
Okay.
But it goes by so fast. That's the thing. It's like it just goes by fast. I mean, I can't ever believe that I'm here for 2 hours when it feels like, oh, I'm already done, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's interesting people, so.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
No, I don't want uninteresting people. That wouldn't work.
Well, I have to say, you are so you make this so easy. You're
That's
so
what's supposed to be.
and,
That would be bad if I didn't make it easy.
Yeah, well, right. That would be bad.
No, I mean, but I think it's fun. To me, this is so much fun to get to really talk to people and understand what, I mean, I was telling Mike when he was in here, I am so curious. I love, to me, it's a gift that I get to talk to people and ask all the questions I want to ask, which is what's next. We're asking questions.
Okay.
They'll be fun.
Okay.
They're no stumping. So if you're like, we'll figure it out.
I gotta think of the name. Are we starting now? I gotta think of the name of that.
That was my first question. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
So
I just have to say these things. It's not Great Rivers Greenway. It's not Watershed Alliance. It's the green. It's green something. Green. Gosh, this is so embarrassing.
Do you want to look it up? Look it up. We don't have to. We're good. Time-wise, we're good, right?
Let me look it up real quick because I just. It's nice of them to give us a grant. Watershed Alliance.
Watershed Alliance. That. Who do I know with that one?
Let's see. Deer Creek Watershed Alliance.
Deer Creek Watershed Alliance. We'll say that first thing.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that was for the rain garden.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Our grant.
That'll be an extra bonus question that we'll do first.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Deer Creek Watershed Alliance. Oh, goodness. Oh.
Too much to remember.
So what's the next tag? When's that coming up?
October 28th. At the 2 Hill.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I think
I love it
October's
that you guys
be
are moving it around the city.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's, I think December was a tough time to do it, so that's why we want to do it in October. And the 2 Hill has the right amount of space for us again, which Chaminade was gorgeous and they had all that great space.
Right.
The biggest thing is that we want to have exhibitors as well, and it's hard to find the space that has, God bless you, that has the exhibitor space plus a fabulous theater.
Well, that's what was so great about, although maybe it wasn't big enough, but the WashU's. That was awesome. I love that venue.
That's a beautiful theater.
Yeah.
I love that in there.
Yeah.
They've done such an amazing job with that. It's really amazing. You don't know until you get into this that, I mean, it's hard to find space for your exact event, you know, like but that most of the places out there, there's ways to make it work. And then you find out how many places there are out there. I didn't know there were that many places
right
to do this.
Right.
But yeah, we it's looking like April will hold auditions, and then you know, and then of course there's also people that we just are like, we want them on stage.
What's the theme? Have you picked it yet?
We haven't picked a theme yet. We've tossed around some. It's a tough thing, and then we go back and forth with, do we want the speakers to like key into that theme, or do we want that just to be the theme of the overall? And you know, we're still growing up.
Sure.
You know, we're still maturing. We haven't gotten there. This year, our organizational structure is better than ever. I mean, we've got this amazing kid, Jake Hollander. This kid is like this amazing organizational guru. So,
and don't you guys have, like, Steve got some money so that there can be pay? Like, it's not, everyone doesn't have to, it's not all volunteer.
Right. So we do have some limited paid staff.
Yeah.
But
you guys,
we could use some more sponsorship dollars.
I bet. And you deserve
Sponsor
it.
TEDx.
I think what you're doing is amazing.
And fun. Yeah, I mean, but seriously. And so, you know, more than ever, as our brains are able to rest around, you know, because sometimes we're in this frenzied place. So now we've got these other people who've come on to help us to make this, you know. And then the other thing that's cool is that it allows then for us to grow other parts of what we want to do at TEDx and to really pay attention to our mission.
Right.
So with our mission being inclusive, to build an inclusive and equitable community, that takes a while to really make that mission show up. So this year I think we'll be able to do it more so than ever. You know, so it's our intention is there. Now we want it to be seen.
And I think the Two Hill is a great location for being more inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be fun.
Oh, good.
I'm excited. October 28th. I know. I just learned last night the actual date, so yay. Are we ready, sir?
Sure are.
Okay. Oh, I need glasses because I can't see anything anymore. My old eyes can't do it.
All right, ready?
I'm ready. And we are back with Deanna Kuhlmann-Leavitt. And my first question is, who gave you...
Thank you.
The rain garden, how did you get it? Who gave you the grant for that?
We got the grant from the Deer Creek Watershed Alliance. And we're so grateful. Truly, it was a huge help.
That's awesome. And that's so cool. And I now I want to totally come though and see. I love the whole idea of rain garden. Just sounds right to me.
Well, you should come, and I should invite you. We have 3 pawpaw trees, and pawpaw trees is a long story. I won't get into it, but they used to be all over the Midwest, and they bear fruit, and the fruit is similar to, it's like a tropical, it's like a banana, mango.
Really? Ooh,
right.
That sounds
and
like a
so
good
we
mix.
had our pawpaw margarita party. Rain
awesome.
garden, beside the rain garden. It was great.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
I want to come check out the pawpaw trees. Okay, so you design things big and small. What is the smallest thing you've ever designed?
Oh, the smallest thing I've ever designed. I designed a flip book once for a paper company, and the book was 1 inch by 3 inches by a 1/4 inch thick. And it was, you just held the 1 inch edge and you flip through it. And the coolest part about it was we were showing real horses running around a racetrack.
Oh, cool.
So to make it, I hired a friend of mine who's a photographer, and this was when I was in LA, and we got to stand at the turn inside the track at Santa Anita Park in Southern California, and it wasn't a movie. It was, he had 3 cameras set up because it was so long ago, and it was like click, 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 click. It was,
really?
It was so cool to stand, you know, I don't know, a foot or 2 feet, 3
Ooh,
feet
it sounds like a rush.
from thoroughbreds. It was amazing. So
flip
that would probably be the
books.
smallest thing.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
used to actually make flip books when
You
I was a
did.
kid. I thought it was hilarious. I just loved doing
flip
it.
books
That's
are
so
awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
They're probably somewhere in a box somewhere. Isn't that terrible?
I hope so.
Well, yeah, I'm bad at
And I hope
keeping
you find
stuff.
them. Yeah.
I'm bad at holding on to things. Okay, so is there a place, this is my second question for you, is there a place where you think that design has yet to touch? Like, is there a certain something you think, we need to make that look nicer?
Oh, gosh. I mean, there's still, oh, gosh, that's really hard.
I actually have one for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Air conditioning units. They're ugly.
Right, which
They,
is
like,
why
are-
they often go on the roof or behind a little
Mine's
partial wall.
like you go down the side, we're like, oh, hello, AC, how's it going? Wouldn't it be nice to just design it to look cute? Maybe I'll build a house for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's so many industrial things that aren't designed in the sort of for public viewing.
Right.
Which could
Maybe
be,
they don't
yeah.
need, but it would be kind of fun to be like, look at our furnace, or like we did this.
Isn't
to
our
it.
furnace pretty?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, people would remember that.
They would. They would. Yeah.
They've got a great furnace. You never know.
Well, and there's a lot of super talented industrial designers out in the world who would love to take a shot at redesigning
yeah.
the air conditioning unit.
I'm seeing,
particularly the window
I'm seeing
units.
industrial plus creativity coming together
I
at some
agree.
point.
I
I think we should start putting the energy out there. And next thing you know, you'll call me like 4 months from now. I'm like, Miss, you're not going to believe who's a client now.
That's right.
Because we put the energy out there.
Right. Right.
That's how it works, people. Oh, gosh. I have these other questions. I don't know what I want to ask. Okay. Let me just ask this. Do you recall the first thing you looked at and thought, I could make that look so much better?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize I was I didn't call myself a designer until college, but I've been making stuff since I was a little kid.
I mean, do you do it now? Like, you ever at the grocery store and think, I think I could do a better package on this for them?
Well, there's so much, I mean, this is going to sound bad. There's so much bad design out in the world. So, but, some of it's some of it I think is right for
what it is, right,
and for the audience that it's speaking to. And, but sure, there's stuff that I would love to design. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
But I think,
yeah.
have you ever designed food packaging? I think that's that would be a fun area to me.
Yeah, no, we haven't. And, it's interesting. The big food packaging, there's so much market testing and sort of what I would call baggage on the design process.
Right, because it has to, keep it fresh. It's, that's true.
Well, there's that, but there's also, and I'm not going to name a brand, but, the brand creator or the brand whatever the brand is, needs to look a certain way, or they assume that the consumer wants it a certain way, and so they design down to the consumer versus designing, taking it to another level. I think every designer should be, thanking Steve Jobs every morning when they get up, because Steve Jobs,
so true.
He didn't do a market study to find out what people wanted. He was one of those people that figured out what people needed.
Yeah.
And then may not be the right terminology, but and then just design beautiful objects that he believed that people would gravitate toward. And of course they do. I think as a designer, it's our job to raise the bar, not lower the bar to meet expectations for what people are comfortable with or what people have already seen. It's the most disappointing project to be working on is when people underestimate their audience.
I love that thought, though. It's true.
It's a frustrating design process.
Well, and if you don't design it well, people just decorate it. They're showing you they want to do something with it, right?
Right.
And I mean, I think about the very first computer I saw. It was not pretty. It was just this ugly thing. I was really intrigued with it. I wanted to know what it could do. It literally, this one had the punch cards. It was not cool at all. It was very industrial looking. But then what you see now, it's also beautifully designed, you know. I mean, you feel good with your computer and open it up, or your tablet or whatever. You like that it's
inspiring
attractive
to work from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so any thoughts for those creative types out there that are still searching where their place is going to be?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think you just have to get your hands dirty and experiment and play. And we just did a project for the Contemporary Art Museum, had the Dada Ball, and they invited designers to design a table. And you know, we're busy, but I felt like, sure, we'll design a table. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun building the centerpiece last week because I was working with my hands. I was scrounging for materials to use to finish this thing off, creating something from scratch. Just those little exercises, those little moments that have nothing to do with a client, that have nothing to do with, gee, I want to be a successful designer. It was just all about satisfying my own kind of wanting to contribute to the Dada thing, but also just, I don't know, entertaining myself by playing.
But it's growth. I mean,
it is.
I'm sure that it gave your mind a rest, and you got to be creative in a different way. And then from there, like a year from now, you'll do something and go, oh, this is kind of like that table design.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, it comes. You never know where your inspiration or where that next step forward is going to come from. You just have to be open to whatever comes your way, with, you know, some discretion.
Of course.
But it just, there is no formula, I guess. It's really very much about open mind, open heart, and just go make stuff, go create stuff, collaborate, you know. So
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Well, thank you, Deanna.
Thank you, Mitch. This
I
was
was
great.
so excited that you came today.
You are so easy to talk to.
See, that's good. That's
Thank
a
you.
good thing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing all your amazingness with us. We love that.
Thank you for asking me. It's been a pleasure.
And you have been listening to Mishmash. Check us out on iTunes and please subscribe. Everybody have a great day. Hi, Facebook. So that was fun.
I hope you got something out
I did.
to use.
Bye,
out of
guys.
that.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.